After Tad climbed all that he could get his little toad feet on at Chapel Pond, he sat on Thinking Cat and thought about what it would be like to go out into the big world and climb higher. The plane was loaded with animals Tad had only seen in books before. The giraffe was his favorite. A mighty tiger was looking out the center window, but Tad wasn't afraid. Monkeys, bears, wolves, but wait! Look at the mountains, Tad shouted. He nearly leaped off Shep's head in excitement. They were even more beautiful than he ever could imagine. And then he saw it. The biggest, most breathtaking, most awesome mountain in the world. It sat behind a rainbow of clouds, peeking to the heavens. "That's it," gulped Tad. "That's the one I want to reach." A silence filled the air. "What?" cried Tad. He heard a harsh voice from inside the plane. "Come here, Toad," howled Wayward Woof. "I'll give it to you straight."
I know what wayward means. It means disobedient.
That's right. Now, let's hear what Woof has to say to Tad. Joy was all about fun, and she could see that Tad and Shep were thirsty and ready for a good time after being in the desert. She knew the perfect place.
Let's go to Funflower Falls,
she yelled excitedly.
Deuteronomy 8:7a. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with streams and pools of water, with springs flowing in the valleys and hills.
Yay! Yahoo! Hollered Tad and Shep. They played all day, sliding, diving, jumping, and drinking their fill. This was the most fun they ever had. The time had come, however, when Shep needed to get back to Chapel Pond. Tad was going to miss his furry friend. They hugged and said their goodbyes. Tad thanked him for guiding him this far. Shep gave Tad a noogie and told him he was proud of him for following his dream and to never give up. Joy called on her critter friends to lead Shep back. They knew a shortcut, so Shep wouldn't have to go through the desert again. Tad and Joy had a long walk ahead. She told Tad,
"You must be strong and remember to keep me with you."
As they joyfully traveled down the road to Faith Mountain, they saw what seemed to be a huge roadblock ahead. When they got closer, they could see it was a weary buffalo. "You don't look too happy, giant furry guy," Tad said.
"I am Burden Buffalo, and I have been standing here for days with no rest,"
he replied. "Why haven't you asked for help?" Tad questioned.
"My burdens are too big for help,"
said the huge critter. Tad felt bad for him and didn't want to leave him standing there alone, so he called for Joy. She was an expert on helping the weary. "Burden Buffalo needs rest," Tad explained. "Can you help?"
"Of course I can,"
Joy said.
"We are headed the way of the crossroads. We will lead him. The grass will be green there, and he will find rest."
The three walked painfully slow. Joy and Tad encouraged the weary giant along the way.
Galatians 6:2. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ.
Goodness was right. They found a place called Critter Cake Cafe. Tad was in for a treat. He had never had anything this good before. He was eating and drinking so fast he got the hiccups. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw another sign. It read, "Self-control." He giggled and slowed down on eating his goodies.
I see the parrot is a fruit of the Spirit, and he is reading a red book on self-control.
Right, because Tad needed to control how fast and how much he was eating. He needed self-control. Joy and Tad finished their goodies and headed back on their journey. Tad got in a hurry and hopped ahead of Joy, and then he realized he lost her. He was going down the wrong path, right towards the web of a giant spider. "Ah, greetings," said the sly spider. "I want to show you a good time," she said in a soft whisper. "Come to my web and I will feed you." She seemed very nice for a spider, but Tad felt scared. He knew something wasn't right. He thought back about how Satan tries to make sin look good, so he ran as fast as he could in the other direction. Satan can make sin look good, and if we're not following God daily or staying on the right path, Satan takes every opportunity to trick us into following sin.
But we will not be happy or have joy in the end if we follow sin.
That's right, Scripture Fish. Now, let's see what happens. As Tad approached Cross Rock, he was in awe at the beautiful scenery. He could see the tip of Faith Mountain. It looked much bigger the closer he got. He began to wonder if he would even be able to reach it after all. Suddenly, he heard the loud voice of a baboon call "Beware," kayaking ahead. "Watch out for the crocodile, my friend. He doesn't like critters getting past Cross Rock. He goes by the name of Fear." Tad hadn't even seen Fear sneak up on him. It must have been the size of the mountain that kept his attention. A lot of times, Scripture Fish, fear will get in the way of our dreams. We start to think we are not good enough or strong enough
or smart enough. So what did Tad do?
Well, let's listen. Hello, Mr. Fear Crocodile, sir, mighty fine day, wouldn't you say? Tad said, stuttering in a shaky, fearful croak. "I'll just be riding on past you, not to bother you, King of the Waters, Mr. Sir, if you please." Tad was rambling on, shaking in his skin. It was getting hotter than Tad or Shep could bear any longer. "I don't think I can make it, Shep," Tad whispered in a dry croak. "I am hot, tired, and thirsty. I have sand in my eyes, and I can't see where I'm going."
2 Corinthians 5:7. We live by faith, not by sight.
Tad felt like he was